Thus, each letter has a meaning. The interpretation generally is in relation to where the letter occurs, in a name or a non-name or by itself. P is the 16th letter in the English alphabet. P or is normally used in abbreviations of words beginning with P, such as pair or packing. In a piece of music, P is a written abbreviation for piano and indicates that the piece should be played quietly. P is the numerical equivalent of 7 and represents power. It carries with it a commanding influence and possesses much knowledge. So I'll be sharing with you this morning some of the most motivational P words that I've come across from different people, speeches, and also including P words that are constantly used by Brian Tracy. For some of you who don't know who Brian Tracy is, he's a Canadian-American motivational speaker and a self-development author. I receive motivational emails from him on a weekly basis, which I find to be very inspiring and also full of very valuable knowledge. And I believe if I can keep up with them, it will make such a big difference in my life. My first P word that I'm sharing with you is perfection. Perfection, which is the complete standards or goals that humans should measure their actual achievements against. Perfection should be attempted as a goal by some, because almost no one is capable of it in the long duration. Success is the result of perfection. Hard work, learning from failure, loyalty, and persistence. Okay, I have all the prepared speakers and role players switched minds. And if you're not, can we please do it now? Okay, I don't see any movement, so I'll assume that that has been done. And everyone, if things have not changed in my absence, should be having a voting slip in front of you. Am I correct? Okay. That's for you to vote for the best prepared speech, best table topic speech, and best evaluation. So please do listen carefully. And these voting slips will be collected at the end of the meeting. Lynn, you'd like to say something?
Just to explain, you don't see the traditional perforated fancy voting slips in front of you. We decided we don't need to spend money on those. So you have these pieces of paper and you'll use these. So 1 page per session. So speaker, please put speaker at the top and the name of the speaker, table topics, and evaluator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for explaining that. Lynn, I also wasn't aware of that, but I suppose I've been here for a while. So, okay, so everybody do have that piece of paper to see. All right, I'll now invite some of the role players to explain the purpose of their roles to us. And for those of you that are new to Toastmasters, these roles rotate with each meeting. I'll start off with you, Tambo. Would you please tell us about your role as evaluation chair today?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My role this morning as evaluation chair will be to coordinate evaluators during the meeting today and to provide guidance to ensure that we have effective and beneficial evaluations. It will also be to facilitate the evaluation session after the speeches. I am going to ask the evaluators if we can please meet outside in the closed terrace for the first 10 minutes to gather our thoughts as evaluators, and for the last 5 minutes to give your individual feedback to the person whose speech you are evaluating before you give it to the rest of the forum.
Hi, thank you, Tambo. And Pemit, as timekeeper, could you please tell us about your role today?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My job today is to help the speakers, the impromptu, and the evaluators to stick into the time. So the time is going to depend about the speeches. The 5 to 7 minute speech. On 5 minutes, it's going to go green. Okay. On 6, it's going to go to amber. And then 7 minutes red. And then I will give the lower for about 30 seconds. And then otherwise I'm gonna ring the bell. Okay. And then for the for the impromptu, which is a minute. Is it 2 minutes?
1 to 2.
Yeah, 2 minutes. So on 1 minute green, 1 minute 30 seconds, you're gonna go to amber. For 2 minutes, you're gonna go on red. For the evaluators, 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes, I'm gonna go go green. 2.5 amber. 3 minutes is gonna be on red. And that's gonna be me, and then I will be giving a feedback of your time. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Right, thank you, Bernard. Table topics master for this morning is Polisa. Polisa, can you please tell us about your role?
Good morning to everyone.
Morning.
I will be conducting table topics this morning. Table topics is about spontaneous speaking and having fun. During the break, I will be walking around looking for participants who will take part in table topics. Hopefully, I will have volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you, Polisa. And Ellie is our accountant for this morning. Ellie, please explain the role to us.
Hi. As our counter, my job is to listen to all of the speakers and make notes of words and sounds used as pause fillers, used too often or repeated consecutively by anyone who speaks during the meeting, such as or, and, well, but. So, you know.
No.
The intent,
Go.
you do know. So, the intent is not so much to catch speakers using fillers, but more to help make you aware of your crutch words that you may be using out of habit and that may take away the impact from your public speaking. Thank you.
And our grammarian this morning, which also includes the word of the day, is Kobus. Kobus, please explain to us your role as grammarian.
Good morning again, everyone. It's not like I haven't said hello already, so you don't have to say hello back to me this time. My job today is grammarian, and that includes the word of the day, and today I've chosen the word quibble. Now, the definition of it as per that sheet, and just put on my spectacles here, it is what? To evade the point of an argument by cavilling about words. So making stupid arguments that doesn't really make sense, like these two have been doing the whole morning.
You're traveling down.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So that is pretty much what the word of the day is about, and I'm going to be counting which people are using it and whether it's in the correct context. Then the next portion of my job is to listen for good and bad use of English language, which I've already made myself guilty of twice this single session, so I'm going to be on the leaderboard for now. And I'm going to not point you out and say that you made this many mistakes, whatever the case may be. I'm just going to give you a bit of advice on what I think, how I interpret it, and how I think you could have changed the wording of what you were saying at that point. I will be giving feedback at the end of the meeting.
And then we'll quibble.
And then we'll quibble about it. Perfect.
Madam
Okay,
Toastmaster.
thank you,
Madam
Kobus.
Toastmaster, may I
Yes,
say something
that's your
positive?
name. Yep, of course you can.
I'd like to congratulate the grammarian for these posters that you've handed out. We'll take that back to our club. You will know what it is. But be careful in future. Remember, some of us come from far away, and words like cavilling, it's like strange for us. Want to make it easier?
Well, that's the official definition of the word. What, do you want me to change the dictionary now, sir?
Probably going to start.
Let's squirrel some more, shall we?
All right, thank you, Dev. I'm sure Cobus will look at changing the dictionary at some point. Yeah, Cobus. Okay, the next up keyword is perseverance. Perseverance. Perseverance is extreme persistence in trying to achieve and continuing with the attempt to achieve the goal beyond the point where most humans would stop. And it is also frequently it also frequently means that you have to experience more failures than most people would in order for one to endure. Michael Jordan says, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games, 26 times. I've been trusted to take the game, winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. That is perseverance. It is now time to hear from our prepared speakers. In Toastmasters, we do speaking projects from the Competent Communicator Manual as well as from the partners. The prepared speakers will also introduce, or rather when I introduce them, I'll ask them to give me a few words that I can use, which is what I'll use as I introduce them. Our first speaker is going to be doing a Pathways icebreaker, and that will be Fortune Mabonga. Tambo Domo will be evaluating Fortune's speech. Tambo, could you please read out the objectives of Fortune Sasanyo to us?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The purpose of Fortune's project is for Fortune to introduce himself to the club and to the guests and visitors, and in the process to learn the basic structure of a public speech. Good luck with your speech, Fortune. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you, Tambo. Fortune advised that he joined Toastmasters a few weeks ago, and he's excited to be doing his first speech, which is the icebreaker. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome Fortune Mabonga with his speech titled Breaking Point. Breaking Point, Fortune Mabonga.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. There are times in life when you need to say out something funny about yourself before other people find out. Because if they find out by themselves, they will be in stitches for days. So I'm going to use this trick today to tell you something funny about me to avoid the people in case you found out later by yourself. So I've got a funny second name. My second name is Topmore. I don't really like that name, and I don't know if it is that I don't talk too much. However, I'm not alone in this predicament. I've seen people with terrible names. Where I come from, I've an uncle called Lovemore. I've got a cousin called Edmore. And wait for this one. I've worked with someone called Don't Worry. So I'm sure next time you meet my name somewhere on documents, you'll be okay. So who is Fortune? I come from Zimbabwe. I've been staying in South Africa for almost 5 years now. I'm currently working at Nedbank as a DevOps engineer. Prior to that, I was also a DevOps engineer at DSV Global Logistics. I hold a master's degree in information technology from University of Pretoria. I am an introvert. I confine myself in a shell. I don't start conversations with people that I don't know.
Why not?
And my poor speaking skills are my Achilles heel. I do have hobbies like everyone else. Of late I've been learning golf, quite a difficult sport, but I'm enjoying it. I also love traveling, as well as watching series. At the moment I'm watching Breaking Bad and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm very ambitious. Later on in my career, I plan of starting my own IT consulting firm. So how did I join Toastmasters? Enias Chingwe, an area director who happens to be with us today, encouraged me to join Toastmasters. I used to see Facebook posts about Toastmasters on his Facebook page. So I asked him what Toastmasters was all about. Then he told me his story of how Toastmasters had transformed him and how he runs his business with ease because of the skills that he gained from Toastmasters. So I hope Toastmasters will do the same to me as well. In my current role at NetBank, there are plenty of opportunities to speak. Yesterday, I had a presentation to my team where I was presenting about the current project that I'm working on. Last week, our team presented a demo in the form of a role. And I also participated, I had a role in that play. And although I had butterflies in my stomach, it went well. And my opponents actually think I should go for Mvango auditions. What are my goals for joining Toastmasters? I would like to improve my confidence so that I can collaborate well with my peers. I also want to improve my speaking skills so that I can deliver powerful speeches and presentations. I also want to grow my social network. I think it would go a long way, considering that I would like to start my own consulting firm in the future. In conclusion, I'm an introvert who confines himself in a shell, and there are plenty of opportunities that are probably passing me whilst I'm in my shell. So I would like to break that shell, and I've made my first step to break it. So this is the breaking point of that shell, and this time it will give in. I hope I will enjoy the journey with you, and I would like to leave you with a quote from a man called George Eliot. It says that it's never too late to become what you have been. Thank you.
Thank you, Fortune, for sharing that with us. And for what you wanted, normally what you do is, if it's an icebreaker, everybody gets to stand up and hear the performance. So well done on that. And also for sharing with us, take more, love more. Oh, and more, don't worry. Because you are allowed to use that, because that identifies with where you come from, and we got to know you a bit better as well with that. So thank you for that. Possibilities are future events which may or may not exist. Life is full of possibilities, but often our struggles make it hard for us to see and prize ahead. Due to circumstances we usually can't control, we give up our dreams or simply ride along the waves. We think that just because we've missed the bus, that we can't get to where we want to get to. But all things being considered, it is possible for one man to do something that another man has failed to achieve. Our next speaker during a CC7 speech is Mendy Morai. Enias will be evaluating Mendy's speech. Enias, could you please give us the objectives of Mendy's speech?
Second day, Madam Toastmaster, Mendy, you'll be doing a research, your topic, and your objectives. Collect information about your topic from numerous sources. Carefully support your points and opinions with specific facts, examples, illustrations gathered through research. Time, 5 to 7 minutes. Mendy.
Thank you. Yes. Mendy is a mother of 2 gorgeous girls, and she's also an entrepreneur. Mendy is approaching her 2nd year with Toastmaster and is excited that she's found the time in a busy schedule to deliver a speech. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome Mendy Morai, with a speech titled 4812. 4812.
Allow me to take you on the journey that led me to 4812. Madam Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Earlier this year, I was listening to a podcast and it totally fascinated me. I decided to implement 4812 in my life. The podcast paints a picture of a small country called Bhutan, sandwiched between Tibet, India, and China. In the 1970s, 16-year-old fourth king of Bhutan, Jinmi Singwa Manchak, became into power after his father passed away. The first thing he did was ask, how can I make my people happier and have more well-being? He sought the counsel of Guru Shamdu Chitri and tasked him with the happiness of the nation. One of Guru Shamdu's methods was to implement hugging medication, and so the theory 4812 was born. Hug comes from the word hugger, meaning comfort. It is derived from Old Norse language and has been appearing about 450 years ago in Scandinavia. The latest research regarding the health benefits of hugging date back to 1969. Albert Pesser and his wife Diane developed the PBSP therapeutic system. One of the therapies they used in this system was hugging, and it proved extremely effective. Over the last 12 years, various experiments and studies have led to the findings that hugging has 20 health benefits.
Catch it cold.
The Mellon University of Pennsylvania states that the top 5 benefits of hugging are: it reduces stress, it relieves pain, it assists with depression, it boosts your immune system, and it can protect against heart disease. When we hug, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin chemicals are released into our body. Medical fields have coined these 4 as the good feel chemicals, and they are responsible for our wellness and happiness. I'd like to tell you a story that made world news and stunned the medical field in the USA. In 1995, identical twins, Kyrie and Brielle Jackson, were born 12 weeks premature at the medical center in Massachusetts, USA. It was common practice to separate the twins and place them in their own incubators to reduce the risk of cross-infection. Brielle was the smaller of the twins and expected not to survive. After a couple of days, they noticed that Kyrie was gaining weight and making progress. Brielle was suffering from heart problems, breathing problems, and was gaining little weight. On the 12th of November, Brielle went into a crisis condition. Her arms and legs started going blue, and she was gasping for breath. They say in moments of desperation, we reach our highest peaks. The nurse on duty, Gail Caspian, had heard about a procedure done in Europe, but it was unknown in the USA. With parents' permission, she took the twins and placed them in the same incubator. Instantly, Brielle cuddled up to Kyrie. Kyrie, being the stronger twin, placed her little arm around Brielle. Within minutes, Brielle's blood pressure and heart rate reduced. Her oxygen readings increased and she started to stabilize. The twins slept in the same bed for 5 years. To this day, they lead happy, healthy lives. It is now common practice in all hospitals across the world that twins, triplets, quadruplets are all placed in the same incubator after birth. Psychologist Virginia Starr has done over 4,000 hugging human benefit studies and has come to the conclusion that Guru Shamdu's theory 4-8-12 has been concluded. Her results show we need 4 hugs a day for health,
Same person.
8 hugs a day for maintenance, and 12 hugs a day for growth. After listening to this podcast, I did some research and I decided to implement the 4-8-12 hugging therapy into my own life. And personally, I found the results amazing. At first, I experimented only when I was feeling sick, down, or stressed. I aimed for 4 hugs a day. I approached my children and my good friends and asked them for a hug. I immediately felt better, relaxed, calmer, but I also felt supported, cared for, and loved. As the weeks turned into months, my inner circle became accustomed to my hugs. I am averaging between 6 and 10 hugs daily. Today, thank you to all of you, I am on 14. 4 hugs a day for health, 8 hugs a day for maintenance, and 12 hugs a day for growth. I believe that a hug is an undervalued gift. It is the gift that keeps on giving. It's free, it has health benefits, and it's readily available. 4-8-12, 4-8-12, 4-8-12. Will you embrace it?
Available. So it's 4 hugs, 8 times a day for 12 hours.
As much hugging as possible.
Thank you, Mandy, for sharing that with us. I'm sure we're all looking forward to getting as many hugs now as we possibly can. And how this all helps is very interesting information. Thank you so much for sharing it. Passion, the ability to find words to make it happen, come what may. To lead with personal authority, to reinvest yourself, and to communicate a purpose, all come from a burning passion for what you're doing. The desire to always do the best is rooted in passion. Nelson Mandela said, "There's no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than what one is capable of living." Now that's passion, and it will make you go far. Our next speaker is Lucinda Hammond, and she'll be doing a speech from the Mastery Pathways. Martin, as the speech evaluator, could you please read the objectives of Lucinda's assignment for us?
Yes, Madam Toastmaster. Lucinda, she has to present a speech and get feedback again and apply that feedback. Now, she did make a previous speech, which was, "What is your excuse?" And she had to work on feedback from the previous speech, use that feedback into today's speech with no excuses. So in other words, no quibbling would be allowed from the previous speaker's feedback either. So, and the time allowed is 5 to 7 minutes.
Hi, thank you, Martin. Lucinda has been a Toastmaster for 10 months and is working on a second pathways mastery.
Congratulations.
She is passionate for speaking and focused on getting a TEDx sport internationally. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome Lucinda Hammond with a speech titled, No Excuse Please. No Excuse Please.
Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, what is your excuse? Is it your race? Are you too white? Are you complaining and saying you're too old? Is it your country? Is it the conditions you're living in? Maybe you're blaming your parents or your siblings. Maybe it was the school you went to. Maybe you are underqualified. What are you making your excuse? Those excuses are going to be what's going to stop you from going anywhere. That is called a limitation. That is something that sits in your mind and it is destroying every chance for your success. If you actually take a simple 30-day program that I implemented in my own life was every time you complain, change the complaint into a request. But this is wrong, I don't like this, I can't stand this. So what do you want? Request it. Go grab it, go take it, go change it. But the more you sit in your monkey mind of negativity, unhappiness, grief, pessimism, you're destroying your own being. You're hurting yourself. And there's one thing we don't want around us. We don't particularly feel attracted to negative people. We don't like the complainers. You know, it's the weather, and it's this, and it's the country, and it's the politicians, and it's, you know, at the end of the day, we've all got a life to live. And we actually want people around us that nurture and give us some positivity and upliftment in our lives. Lynn Grabhorn wrote a book. Excuse me, your life is waiting. Now this book I read just as I was emerging into a 3-year depression. I lost a year ago, you wouldn't believe it. I came back to this city a year ago. I'd lost everything. No car, I didn't have a home, I was destitute. I'd sold my possessions to eat. I had my 2 dogs, my cat I had to rehome, and I had one thing on my mind when I hit that major depression 1.5 years ago. I was dying. I was at a point and a brink of one particular day. I realized my time was ticking. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Seconds, minutes, hours, weeks, months. 3 years had gone by, and I was sitting in a mess. I was wallowing in self-pity. Woe is me. Look what the world's done to me. Blaming and shaming every single thing I could lay a hand on. And that morning, when I woke up in my bed, I realized, Lucinda, wake up. Do you want to live or do you want to die? What do you want? What do you want? Because this is pathetic. And people were sick of my negativity and my story. So everyone left my life. But that morning when I got up, for the first time in my life, age 49, I chose, I want to live. And there were 3 steps I took in my life. 3 steps. First, I purged out, wrote out, screamed, danced, shook it out, all my complaints and reasons why life was so terrible for me. All the things that I don't want. Everything. I got it out. And then I said, it's enough already. Now, that is now behind you. That then enabled me to get to point 2 was, what do you want?
So now you've complained, you've had your excuses, you've moaned, you've bitched, everything else. But now what do you want? And when I got to that point of realizing in my life what I wanted to create, what I believed in my life was actually in my heart and soul, what I truly did want, I got to my third step was, now it's time to take action. Now it's time to master this life of yours and start changing it. Implement daily, practice as ways. Start with simple things like gratitude. Started creating a vision board on a wall and pasting things I do want, the good things, things that might have even been completely out of my reach. But I started from the basic down to being where I am, which is pretty good right now. And it was all on a 3-step program and one decision that I had to take. You see, if you can get to that point of your life, you will realize that you are the master of your own destiny. You are the captain of your ship. You have the controls and reins in your hands. Your hands. Stop waiting for that silver spoon. Stop waiting for that phone call or some prince or princess to come screaming up on a horse and going, woo, I've come here to save you.
Amen.
Because you are going to be waiting a long time. 10 to 1 you're going to die with regrets. Because that ain't going to happen. Because that's an illusion. Though in all reality, it starts with you. So stop quibbling with yourself. Stop quibbling with the world around you. Take charge of your life and choose what you want. And go for it. And don't let anything stop you. Do you know who stops you in your life? Yourself. Your mind, your limitations, your thought process are the only thing that's ever going to get in your way from getting anywhere. Stop blaming. Stop shaming. No buts, no ums, no so's, no ands, no more. Stop your excuses.
Thank you, Lucinda, for that. You've really got us all thinking that the excuses that we keep giving to ourselves, we really need to get up and start doing something about it. And those 3 steps that you have given us, I find that, that's something that I actually do need to use in my own life as well. So thank you for sharing with us. Can you switch over for us? Thank you. Preparation. Most important goals in life require a lot of preparation before they can be achieved. And that frequently means a large gathering of knowledge and skills. Being prepared can also mean having the right tools and materials for a job to be done. Preparing well is about absorbing the content so that one is not making decisions from a conscious place of thinking. The best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. Success is where preparation and opportunity meets. As they say, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Hamid, could you please give us the timekeeper's report?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fortune, your speech was 4 to 6 minutes, and you gave us 4 minutes 30 seconds. Mandy Marie, your speech was 5 to 7 minutes, and you gave us 7 minutes 30 seconds. Lysandra, your speech was 5 to 7 minutes, and you gave us 6 minutes 46 seconds. Thank you.
Could everyone please take a few minutes to vote for what you consider to be the best prepared speech?
I'll complete it.
Okay, and do not come and collect that now. So you can just put your voting up once you're finished.
Thanks, Dino.
Thanks, you know.
Thank you, Dino. Okay, we will now take a break up until 10:50. I think that gives us about 15 minutes, if my time is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, so up until 10:50, so we take a break now, so we can enjoy some more breakfast and up until that time. And timekeeper, if you can please unmute the surveyed arms to call the meeting back 2 minutes before the time.
Okay, is everybody happy?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Man, you got all the hugs in?
Yeah, we have more. Can't you see I'm beaming?
Okay, cool.
As I'll toy.
Okay. So we're going to be welcoming Dave to do an impromptu all by himself. Dave, going to tell us a few jokes, eh, Dave? Excellent, because he's the last person seated.
No.
So the last person seated is going to tell us a joke.
Joke.
Yeah.
Let's move, let's run. No one minds joke. Dad.
Dave is going to take his time, I'm sure.
Since I did joke partners, you don't want to ask me.
Yeah.
Okay, Errol.
Bags and Toastmasters.
Cool. So everyone's got their seats. We'd like to welcome back our... Okay. Thank you guys. I would like to welcome the tables topic master up to the front. Teresa, can you guys please welcome her?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning.
I am your table topics master for this morning. Table topics is about developing communication skills, listening skills, creative thinking, thinking on your feet, structuring a speech. Impromptu speaking encourages one to keep abreast on current matters, and it allows those who did not get a chance to take part in the meeting to take part. Have you noticed how you would say things that you did not intend saying when you are required to speak promptly? I have, in one of the interviews I attended. But I would rather not go there. It's not a pleasant story to tell. Besides, I don't want to spoil your morning. Let the fun begin. I will be calling on the participants to participate on our table topic 5. Participants, I will read out a quote to you, and you will have to disagree or agree on that quote. You have 1 to 2 minutes to agree or disagree. I will call on the first participant. Leon. Leon, no one has become poor from giving. No one has become poor from giving. Leon.
I agree. I agree. Mother Teresa gave everything. She owned nothing. She walked around in a habit that would get laundered once, twice a week. She had 2 habits and shoes. She had nothing of material wealth. She gave everything that she had. Yet she was possibly one of the richest people on the planet while she was alive. What she did for humanity and for those people, those poor wretches where she worked and gave her soul, she uplifted them, gave them the most important thing that a person in that situation can have: hope, love, and tenderness. She changed more lives in her lifetime in that squalor than governments and nations have changed throughout the world in all history. Yeah.
Well done, Jan.
I promise you guys, I did not tell Leon about that.
Well done, Jan.
Calling on our second participant, Dave. Guys, please welcome Dave. Dave, the difference between the rich and poor is that the rich know when to give, and the poor always give and give and give, unknown.
You quote that again for me? Give and give and give what?
To give out, they're giving.
Who's giving?
The poor.
They're giving.
The difference between the poor and the rich.
Difference between the poor and rich, man. The table topics, mistress. There it was said, Mother Teresa, bad. She had 2 bad habits. Now, what's it got 2 bad habits? Good and bad. Sometimes more bad and sometimes some good. The poor don't give. The poor get. You must give to the poor. I think it's somewhere in the Bible. Look after the poor. The poor is always with us. So therefore you give to the poor. Not because you have to give. You must give because you want to give. You mustn't think, well, I give something to somebody because I don't like it. You must give something that you like. If you're looking at a present that you want to give to somebody, Christmas or whatever, birthday, I always say to myself, do I like that present? Would I like to get that present? And if the answer is no, don't buy it. Don't just buy a present because you think it's going to be cool. You give freedom of yourself. You must become a giver, not a taker. Madam Toastmasters.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Our next participant is Andrea.
Hey.
This one is my favorite. Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is good. Albert Einstein. Andrea.
If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will believe it's an idiot or stupid for its whole life. How many of us identify with that? How many of us were at school and were told, you don't fit in this box. You don't do this right. Why can't you be like the other kid? Really? identify? It is only when we leave the boundaries of set education and learn to discover ourselves that we learn that being different is special. And that I don't have to be a fish to climb a tree. I'm special because I swim better than the tree climbers. And that's what being an entrepreneur is all about. Specializing in what we do best and taking our passions and making it work.
Thank you, Andrea. Our next participant is Nandi. Nandi, when someone shows you who they are, believe them for the first time. Maya Angelou.
Thank you, Topic Master. Good morning. I agree. People do show us who they are, but we choose not to believe. We choose to believe what we think about them. We choose to believe what we would want them to be. I do believe people do show us at the beginning, but when we don't believe them, then they will try and act the way that we want them to act, which at the end of the day, it goes against everything that they believe, and it goes against everything that we should have expected of them. So I do believe that we should believe people the first time, as they always say, first impressions last. Believe the first impression, because the person is showing you who they are going to be in the next 10 years or 15 years of life. Thank you.
What about second chances? But then again, I guess the saying goes, and what never changes its what?
Go.
Okay, the next participant, Wobus. Wobus, every human being has genius level talent. There are no chosen ones. You just have to find what you're great at and tap into it. Jay-Z, the artist.
I agree, because we all have skills, whether we know it or not. My skill, for example, is to stand here and look pretty. Some of my other skills are to talk nonsense. I can do that also pretty well. Find out whether it's useful or not, I don't know yet, but we'll figure that out. I still have got another 200 years to live. Remember there's some ad that says the first person who reached 20 years has already been born? That's me. I've got lots of time to figure that out. Everybody else in this room has got talent, and we've seen a lot of that talent already today. People speaking, shooting from the hip, just speaking without thinking and still making sense. People who can prepare and remember facts and just generally enjoy themselves in front of other people and live. I think all of us got that skill, to live. And Lucinda showed that perfect to us today that if you want to live, you can. And that is a skill. To live is a skill.
Thank you. Calling on Danyani. Danyani, work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it. Speak of you.
why I'm doing it. If I know why I'm doing it, I will have my manager to be telling me what to do. And waking up in the morning, I will have a motive to know it. The reason for me to wake up will be the reason why I choose to go for that job. Because one would say in the morning we find ourselves complaining that, especially in Mondays, we find like, oh man, the weekend came, they finished so quickly. But only if to go back to realize that if you go back to ask yourself the question why, you have the option to say, okay, you have two options to do. You either can go to work, you can sit. You still have the option. But for you to first have to go there, unless you know why you're doing it. If you don't know why you're doing it, you can still reserve yourself, you reserve the energy and sit back and let other people do the job that they can do it better.
Thank you. Our last participant will be Ian. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ian. As he strolled to the front.
Hi.
Hi, Ian. Ian, worrying is like praying for something that you do not want to happen.
Gee.
Robert Donald Jr.
Well, the basic answer to that is, don't worry, be happy. Worry doesn't help. And a great friend of mine says, if something is worrying you, you've got it on your mind, just let it go. And that's the best thing you can do. Let it go. Don't let it sit there bothering you, not being able to sleep at night. What we want to do is get into bed and sleep without a worry. So just don't worry, it doesn't help. Madam Topic Master, yes.
You okay, Jan?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
Do I make table topics easy or what?
Okay.
Because they all were good. Thank you so much to participants. Mr. Timekeeper.
She wants some time.
Do you want me to start or you want to give the slip first?
Okay, on the table there's a voting slips. Please vote for the first participant. And Penix, if you are ready, please read out the time for this.
Mindy, looking at me and I'm like, I can hear this. Tina, to go sit. Madam Table Topic Master, this is our time. Leon, 1 minute 25 seconds. Dave, 1 minute 1 second.
That's enough.
Andrea, 1 minute 6 seconds. And Nandi, is it Nandi or Nadia? Nandi. Okay. That's all. 53 seconds. Cubus, 1 minute 7 seconds. I keep on struggling to the front. Kanyan? Kanyan. Okay. 1 minute. Mr. Kelly, 52 seconds. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you to all the participants. for making the table topic fun so fun. Please help me to welcome back Madam Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you to Colisa for that very interesting table topics. I'm sure everybody got to enjoy it. Persistence is trying to achieve a goal and continuing with an attempt beyond the point where the majority of the people will stop. Persistence may even be called an addiction to a goal, which frequently has a very low probability of achievement. Okay, I think we now get on to the exciting moment that we've been waiting for, which is the evaluation session. So, on the evaluation session, we've got Tambo. Where is Tambo? Okay, here you are. Tambo Goma. She'll be leading the session as our evaluation chair. So, if you can please help me to welcome Tambo to the lectern. Tambo.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good morning again, everyone. Good morning. First of all, I'd like to start off by saying well done to our speakers, to Fortune, to Mandy, and to Lucinda. I'd like to commend you for your courage for standing up here. It does take a lot to be here and to speak and to give off yourself. Before I call up the other evaluators, I'd just like to talk a little bit about the process of evaluation, especially perhaps for the new people that might be here. The value of an evaluation really lies in how it is applied. The point of us giving evaluations is to help us to improve the way we speak and the way we get our message across. It's naturally challenging to accept feedback. Have you ever noticed that? Not just negative feedback, even positive. How many times has someone said to you, I love your dress, or, well, guys, please do not answer this. Someone has said, I love your dress. Or, I love what you did there, and we minimize it. And we say, oh, this old thing, I got it from the Chinese shop, or, no, it wasn't much. It's naturally challenging for us to simply say thank you, whether it's good or bad. Some essential skills that you need as a Toastmaster, we learn here, and one of them is evaluating others. And being open to being evaluated as well. And then applying that feedback to enhance your personal abilities. So the main purpose of evaluations is that they're a tool that we use to support each other, because we're all here to learn, we're all here on our personal journeys, and we all have goals that we want to achieve. It helps the Toastmaster who's giving the speech, and it also helps those that are listening to the evaluation. It helps the Toastmaster and the audience to enhance their skills. They say that life is too short, and it's easier to learn from other people's mistakes. But it also helps the evaluator in listening and in giving effective and constructive feedback in a way that is easy to receive. So without me spoiling the rest of the evaluation session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Elias to come and provide his evaluation of Mandy's speech, and I will come, as I close the session, I will end with Fortune's evaluation. My apologies, we had said that we were going to call Fortune, Mandy, and Lucinda so that we could speak to you about your evaluations before we came in. One, we did run out of time, and two, I think we had a little quibble with the evaluators.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and especially to you, Mandy. Well done for that speech. You are a great storyteller. What I liked about your speech is that instead of giving us statistics, figures, and facts, you gave us a story. And in that story, you had facts, you had statistics, you had figures that helped us to enjoy this great speech and this great journey that it took us across. You introduced characters within that story. 450 years ago, King of Burma and Guru Shandu, they were looking for the medication for happiness. And through that, you gave us the benefits of hugging, 20 benefits. But then you reduced them to just 4, which was clever for you. You then went on to bring in another story again that happened in 1995 in USA. The story of the twins. They were separated and they had health problems. But then when they came together, all those health problems, they changed to show the benefits of hugging. That was an excellent way. Instead, as I said, instead of using boring statistics, you used a powerful title, 4, 12, 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12, 3 times. That was an excellent way of introducing your speech. You also had you actually researched your topic very well, to the extent that if I was presenting that speech, I was going to forget some of the research that you did. But then you were on point. You were not hesitant. You were not even pausing. You were just going straight to facts to show that you gave a good research of the topic. How can we therefore take this speech from where it is to the next level? Just one area that I would want maybe for you to consider would be, if you've got such a story, maybe you can come up with a material that you share with us. It could be something that you write on a paper and then you share with us, so that we can carry forward and understand exactly what you'll be talking about. Otherwise, I liked the story, and you also left us with the meaning of 4, 8, 12, which is 4 hugs for health, 8 hugs for maintenance, and 12 hugs for growth. What a powerful story. Thank you so much for that. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Ines, for that wonderful evaluation. And I'd like you to help me welcome Martin, who will be evaluating Mandy's speech. Martin, would you like to come to the front?
Double evaluation.
Yeah. Back to me, and you get
Oh,
mine.
sorry. Thank you, Cobus. Thank you, Cobus. That will be Lucinda's speech.
Can I come down? Thank you, Madam Evaluation Chair. Lucinda, when I saw you this morning, I thought, oh, you're fine.
Now break things, man.
An intense person, serious person. And I saw the title, No Excuses, Please. And I thought, oh, am I going to say something today? So Lucinda, what I'm sharing with you, I mean it. For you, growth as a speaker, and specifically, congratulations on your second pathway. I think that's well done for anybody at this stage in the Toastmaster journey and with the history of Toastmasters. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your need for the audience. I'm quoting exactly what I did. To examine the question of no excuses, please. Watching Lucinda share with us about the fact that we need to come past this particular stage in our life of negativity. So I'm very glad that you used the word of the day, quibble, quite a few times. And thank you for working on feedback from your previous speech. I see you did work hard integrating that feedback, and that is something we need to learn from Toastmasters as well. We get feedback from any speeches, but we don't put it back into operation for the speeches that come. So, well done on that. I'd want you to consider working on the power statements. Dave is a mentor of mine, and he always says, your speech title makes the speech. And that I would suggest to you in future, if you use your speech title, make sure it's a power statement, like it was, but use it 2 or 3 times during the speech as well, and end with it as well, that to emphasize your statement. And then, please be careful of your audience. Sometimes we make statements, and I find myself in hot water as well, so I understand where I'm coming from. I think you will as well. These are not monkeys. And you told us the monkey mind of negativity. Now, thank you that this is a Toastmaster audience. But if it was a political sphere, you would have been in hot water, baby. Telling us we've got monkey minds. So I think that's something we all want to just be careful of sometimes in our vocabulary we use. We mean it, but somebody might take it up wrongly. I suggest you also learn to speak more slowly. Allow pauses for the questions you make, that people can think on them. And use the stage with all 3 statements that you wanted to make. I thought that could be something you wanted. I like your metaphors and the personal touch in your life. When people start talking personality, personal things, that makes sense. That's powerful. Thank you, and I think I want to hear the 3rd pathway from you too. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Martin, for that excellent evaluation. Lastly, our final evaluation will be my evaluation of Fortune's speech. Did I get it right this time, Koos?
Yeah.
3rd time lucky. Fortune, I'd like to say well done for your very first speech in Toastmasters. I know you've spoken at work before, but in Toastmasters, we congratulate you for taking the first step, as you mentioned in your speech, to breaking that shell. And for those that are new or that are guests and may not be aware, whenever someone does complete their very first speech, we do give them a standing ovation after their speech, which is what you saw earlier. Fortune, well done. You started with humor, which is always a good way to disarm the audience. And you told us about your middle name, Talkmore, which we will now be using. Starting today. So this is what happens when you make yourself vulnerable. I would like to say well done for your good voice projection. You were confident. You spoke loudly. Everyone, I think, could hear you very clearly. You articulated your words well. And even though you were using cue cards, you still managed to slip in some gestures. I remember specifically one gesture you gave with the butterflies in your tummy, which I think we all
relate to, at least I do. Then in terms of areas that I would love to see you work on, I noticed that you found yourself more in the middle of the room. And sometimes with your hands in your pocket, sometimes you were pacing. My encouragement to you would be to use what we call a speaking triangle, where you make sure that you find yourself in front of your audience, and your audience, nobody in your audience ever has to see your back. So while you were in the middle of the room, it may have felt as if you were connecting more. However, you had about half of this room cut off, and they would have loved to engage with you as you told them about yourself. To avoid putting your hands in your pocket, my suggestion might be for you to stand firm with your hands on your side. It feels uncomfortable when you start off, but it actually doesn't look uncomfortable, and you'll get used to it as you go. It also gives your voice a little bit more power. The last thing I would like to encourage you to do is to look at your speech title. If you look at your speech title, which was Breaking Point, it would have been great for us to hear a little bit more about the breaking point throughout the speech, or even at least from the middle of the speech. We only heard about it right at the end, and we had to start trying to figure out how you got to that breaking point. Now, when I hear breaking point, I'm thinking more of, I'm going to see how this is building up to the point of you breaking. And I felt as if I didn't get that. I would have loved to see that progression in your speech. In closing, well done for your speech. You took us through where you were coming from to where you want to be, and you told us how you want to collaborate and how you want to break your shell, and we'll be here to support you. I want to say well done for that. Then lastly, last comments as evaluation chair would be to say another well done to all the speakers, and I encourage the new members to get stuck into your pathway speeches. You've seen what Fortune has done, and you've seen where Mandy and Lucinda have come. They would have also started off in the same place, and you see how far they've come. I would also like to thank the evaluators, because it takes a lot to give your time, to listen to someone else, and to give feedback to someone else. Thank you for giving me
I missed
time.
my coffee.
You don't
Can
need
I have
it,
a
you're
beer?
perky enough. You don't need any more coffee. But also, more especially, it takes special leadership skill to have two more experienced evaluators being led by an inexperienced evaluator. So I want to commend both Enias and Martin and say thank you and well done. And with that, I'd like to hand over to Madam Toastmaster.
Okay, I suppose what's happening now is the voting for the evaluators.
I have to keep the time.
Okay, all the votes being taken in.
Thanks, sir.
And Hamid, could you please give us the timekeeper's report?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Unfortunately, Kamba, I want to start with you because you're on top. Your evaluation time, 3 minutes 32 seconds. Enias, 3 minutes 13 seconds. Martin, 3 minutes 41 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Hamid. And also thank you to all the evaluators and to Tabu as our chair. And your evaluation session was very helpful and informative. And I believe we all got to learn from that as well. Amy, do you think we can get the counters report?
most people, the use of words like so can easily get out of control if we are not conscious of them. These innocent words aren't an issue when they said once or twice, but their repetitive use is what really kills your credibility. Ask yourself how prepared you really are, and you will see a correlation between when you are saying and when you lack planning and unpreparedness. With that, I'm going to give you the counts of all the and other words used. Quibus, you used 4 ums. Dino, you used 3. Fortune, you used 6 ums and you used 10 so's.
Came first.
You also used 3 alsos. Nanzi, you used 2 ums and 1 so. Hermit used 4 ums. Nandi used 1 so. Soliswa used 2 ums. Kanyani used 1 Tambu used 3 ums. And Martin used 2. Thank you very much.
Not getting mentioned in the dispatches is a good thing.
That's right.
Thank you, Annie. And colleagues, could we please have the grammarian's report?
Certainly, Madam Toastmaster. First, I'm going to start with the word of the day. Quibble. So we've had about 11 usages of the word, all incorrect, the correct usage thereof. And the leader of the pack was Martin with 3 quibbles. And he quibbled again, so that's 4. Okay. So we've got 3 from Martin and 2 from Lucinda, and a few people got 1 each. Then, as far as the grammar is concerned, either I'm deaf or we've had a very, very good bunch of people speaking today. Good speakers here today, because I've heard very few mistakes. I will point out a few little ones that I thought I need to just mention. Although, Lucinda, although I know what you meant with ain't gonna happen, it's trying to force the point home. I would think it is not going to happen, or what, variant of that. Enias saying take us across the journey. I would say take us on a journey. Mandy with sandwich between 3 countries. I understand the meaning, but I would think because it would probably engulfed between 3 countries because it's totally surrounded. Sandwich could be like open on the sides or something. I would just
Left brain.
Engineer. It's a Leon giving a bridge.
It's a Dagwood.
And also you mentioned good feel hormones instead of feel good hormones. Otherwise, I like that you used undervalued gift. The contrast between the 2 words were, I took it very nicely. And Lucinda, you had, I didn't take down the whole thing, go grab it, go take it. I like that a lot because that alliteration, the repetition, showing you exactly driving us to go and take it. And although Dave disagreed with what I'm going to say next, the monkey minds, I thought it was pretty well used in my opinion, because you didn't address anybody specific and call them a monkey mind. it's our monkey mind mentality.
You're a
all over
bloody
the world.
monkey, man.
I'm a monkey. You're a monkey. It's our monkey mind mentality that makes us do silly things. So I don't think you attacked a person or a group of people. So I would say, I would consider that actually quite a good use of the word. Then the last thing I want to say is to Snansi. I know English is not your primary language, just like it's not mine. So I'm not going to comment on the pronunciation of entrepreneur, but it's entrepreneurs is probably better than say entrepreneur. If you so swapping off the letters out around there, the pronunciation I'm not so that.
Say that again, Cobus, it sounds the same.
So you said entrepreneur. I would expect entrepreneur. So that's what I said. Pronunciation is not everybody's first English, not everybody's first language. So it's just the order of the letters there that I want to comment on. Otherwise, very happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Cobus, and I'm sure we've all learned something from all those comments that you've given us. As Brian Tracy says, all humans have one thing in common, the pursuit of happiness. When you're happy, you feel energized, motivated, and inspired. Now, wouldn't you like to feel this way every single day? Well, add a powerful P motivational letter to your life and get started every day on the right footing. Thank you to everyone. This now concludes my role as Toastmaster, and I yield control back to the President.
I have a powerful P word to start.
No questions.
Toastner.
Well, that will start your day very well.
Winning.
Nancy, thank you very much for a very well run Toastmaster session. Let's give her another hand. What's left?
Right.
I just want to do another induction, may I? Andy, come up here too. I've got to do it while I can get hold of him. Please welcome Andy. I'm going to read this to you. Ask you to please agree to it. I'll ask members to please show their support. Membership in Toastmasters is a privilege. The only way to gain the benefits of our program is to actively participate. You, Nandi, promise to be an active member of this club, to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for your duties. Do you promise to prepare your speeches to the best of your ability and in line with the Toastmasters International Manual? To prepare for and fulfill meeting requirements. To provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations. To help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow. To serve as a club officer when called upon to do so. To treat our fellow club members and guests with respect and courtesy. To bring guests to club meetings so that they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers. To adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters programs. To maintain honesty and highly ethical standards during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. To
Members of Bryanston Breakfast Club, please stand. You members of Bryanston Breakfast Toastmasters Club promise to support Nandi as she works towards the Toastmasters program.
We
do. Welcome. On a point. Anybody have anything? Point? Mr. Cams.
We don't clap, we applaud. Mr. Toastmaster, thanks very much, Mr. President. In our club we actually emphasize image at all costs. We have a lady in our club who opens her booth up to get her things out, and she has handbags of different colours for her shopping. Pink, white, yellow, green, yellow. She checks what she's wearing and she takes the bag out accordingly to match. Today I've seen something for the first time ever. Image of high note. The pink lady with a pink water bottle. Well done.
Anybody else got anything? Yes.
As you all know, Toastmasters season is coming to an end, and this unfortunately is also the end of my term as an area director. As an area and a division, we are organizing an awards night for all the members. We've been able to push their goals and we've been able to perform within Toastmasters. So we are going to be holding an awards night early July. We'll be communicating as we get towards the date. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Once you looked convincing when you said, unfortunately, my Martin.
Thank you, Mr. President, and all the Toastmasters and the newbies as well. Your theme is embracing agility and for the year, and today's theme was letter P. And that challenged me when I was looking at that. So I wrote down a few concepts for this club. You need to be extremely agile. So I use the word, it's not the word of the day, so don't quarrel. You need to be extremely agile and persevere in your vocabulary when you get involved with the power of P. From primitive to perfect, there is plenty of platitudes if you practice to P.
Did you repeat that without your paper? Yeah.
Just to say thank you to Bryanston again for welcoming us, and also to say congratulations to the new committee. And in line with the power of P, I'd like to pass on a life lesson I learned when I first moved into management. Proper planning prevents poor prevention. Good luck with your year going forward.
Jacinda.
I got it. The last time I tried to speak, my president told me to shush. So, three of us are actually in the new committee of Bacon and Egg. So you've got Leon, who is VPM, the VPE, and I'm VPBR of Bacon and Egg. And please do come to our club, come and support us. I appreciate your presence at my panel discussion a lot. Mandy was there at our last meeting now, and come and enjoy the other side of the border of West Curtin on the west, and it's on the Saturdays when you're free. Thank you.
And we're looking for George.
Georgie.
Yeah. Who knows where George is? Travelling Gavel, where is
Down
it?
in the Eastern Cape.
No.
Cape, man.
No, you're talking nonsense, Dad.
No, it could be.
It's called Gioch in Afrikaans.
George is in the jungle.
We were going to applaud for Lucinda, but you stopped us right now.
Sorry.
So can we? Anything else? I was going to comment, but I think I'll procrastinate a bit and give it I'll only one thing. Our next meeting is our awards meeting. We will be recognising consistent performers from the club over the last year. And it's going to be a bit of a celebration, and we'll induct the new committee. Make sure you have a nice speech for that meeting. Good motivating speech for us, please. And make sure you come, if nothing else. Thank you. We have awards. Right, what have we got? Guest table topics. Why did you throw this on the floor? Sorry. The best table topics, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll, please. Leon.
Really? Are you that far away because he's got germs?
You can zoom in.
That's
No, I'm hugging you. Dancing with Lang last night, you can stand next to one tonight. Relax. Leon's just
What were you doing last night? We were
Leon's
recruiting
just
members for
recovered.
North Riding.
Yeah, sick again.
So if you're going to dance with the man to get him in the club, you do it.
I know.
Best evaluator.
Cool, there you go, done.
When you do your icebreaker, we as a club recognize it with a little ribbon. Fortune, please come and get your ribbon. Our genie of the day. It's an award that the president decides on for a role that was done well or for anything else that happened in the meeting, and for doing topics masters so well the first time. I'll give you a award to. Gift from Centurion, the mug of the day. For anything funny that someone did, anything stupid someone did, anything provocative someone did, or whatever qualifies. Any nominations?
Just
Sitting there in the corner somewhere.
The monkey brain.
No, the monkey brain.
What's too much?
For not using Google enough for monkey mind.
I do have a few. First of all, Dave, for not understanding what cavilling is. And then to Kobus for using a word in the word of the day that is more complicated than the word of the day. And then to Lynn for unilaterally promoting the Sergeant at Arms in the committee. Fortune for watching Breaking Bad. And Leon showing off by remembering his national service number.
It's sad.
Right, so I just want to hear from you. Shout out the one who you think wins.
Dave.
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 No, you can't give it to people who sick.
You're not taking out the club, it still stays here.
Monkey brain.
Give it to a club member.
Well, then I'm giving it to Kobus for using such a complicated First you get your photograph taken.
Mike shot, no smiling.
You can see how just like he got off the wagon.
Best speaker of the day. Who's your handwriting? Lucinda. That brings us to the end of the meeting. Thank you very much all for your participation today, for keeping it light, keeping it humorous, but still keeping up the standards. Very well done. Most enjoyable meeting. Look forward to the next meeting. I hereby declare us closed.
Yes. Well done, Harold.
Can I pick up?